Hello, wonderful people. Welcome back to a brand new episode of the podcast, Discuss Football with Kenny. You guys did very well in the first episode of the podcast. We got a lot of views on YouTube and we got a lot of positive feedbacks. That is those things I would love to hear. And today, I am not alone. Everybody is repping their jersey here.
Yes,
but if I say everybody with the here, one thing, touch everybody.
Seriously.
Last time out.
It happens like that.
So before we go into
Seriously.
the podcast, let me not forget my name is Kenny and I'm here with
Eloquent.
Abezi.
So our basic team. Something is wrong with them. The Man United, laughing stock.
Oh my!
You know, say we they get fish stock, we get anything talk. But right now, Manchester United, they are laughing
In fact,
stock.
you know, I said it last time. I said it last time that Eric Ten Hag, his head is like donuts. Someone thinks I'm lying. Well, why coming to this place today? I just heard the best description for him. He said it's like a vulture. Someone said that when I heard that today.
Oh,
so
he lost yesterday,
I am
right?
describing him as a vulture
Because he lost yesterday.
because that man is losing too much matches. In eight games, he has lost 5 matches. It's too bad.
The man is under severe pressure right now because Man United are really suffering. And for me, they break my heart for weekend. Liverpool. I was robbed. So, on this episode of the podcast, we'll be touching a lot of topics. We'll be discussing the Liverpool versus Tottenham game, the daylight robbery, and we'll also be talking about Man United's slow start to the season. Arsenal have been flying, but they just lost their star boy, Saka. We'll be talking about that on the podcast as well, and we'll be talking about Chelsea. They just got their. We'll talk about Chelsea. So let's, there are a lot of talking points on the podcast today. Let's start with that Liverpool versus Tottenham game, the big one. They lose the Diaz goal. Do you guys think the goal should have stood?
Actually, I watched that game.
It should.
It should have stood. I watched the game, honestly. And to be sincere, the problem with this Premier League refs, I don't understand. They are not competent enough. They are showing incompetence in their games.
Yes, that's the word.
Why will you officiate a game where there's VAR after the VAR corrected you to bring back that goal? You're saying they've continued playing. It doesn't make any sense.
And there was this footage that was even released yesterday.
Okay.
I think with the audio.
They
were telling the man that you are stop the game. Stop the game. He said he couldn't do anything about it again.
To me, I don't feel we should stop the game because they've continued with the game already.
But it's a game of football.
It just cost them 3 points. Do you know that?
Now, if you made a mistake, at least on the field of play, you should be able to stop the game. They were telling him from the VAR room. It's just like everybody in the VAR room, they know the laws of the game. It is very possible that you stop the game. We've been watching some games that you see that VAR checking.
Yes.
This allowed go
Yes.
offside.
Not even once.
This lose the ass situation.
Okay.
It wasn't even checked.
It's not.
It wasn't.
No, it was checked.
It was checked.
It
It was checked, but the ref did not wait for it. The ref did not wait for the right decision.
I think
the VAR said check completed.
And check completed. What was the decision? Is it a goal or it wasn't a goal? What check was completed? Because it was obvious. It was obvious that even in the VAR back door or backroom staff, they could have seen the goal that this is a goal, and maybe they thought this guy have seen it already. It's nothing for us to start telling you it's offside or whatever. So you should VAR check is complete. It also means the goal stands now. Let's just say the ref is just too incompetent. He's a novice in the referee game.
Now that's
what I see him as. Even if he has been in the game before.
We can term that as human error as well.
Human hero.
Yes.
It's just like he made saying that I know how to drive a car, and suddenly I stopped knowing how to drive a car. I drove myself into a canal. Can you say, it's your profession. It's something that you wake up in the morning, tell your families that you're going to work. So if you stop doing it very well, stop executing it very well, then that means you're acting unprofessional.
In fact,
the word human error pissed me off a lot.
Annoying.
Let's just say that these guys are unprofessional.
Non-professional.
They are
I think those mistakes should happen in the local leagues, not a league like the Premier League. It's costing us points.
And I also have a suggestion. There should be repercussion to all this.
Definitely.
You said this yesterday. You said this yesterday while we were talking about this football something, that there should be a repercussion. There should be a repercussion. All these referee, they should be paying fine or even dues for all these mistakes. If they are making this kind of mistakes and they are looking away from it, this mistake will continue happening. And
but don't you guys think those suspension is enough for this referee?
Suspension is not
just 3 matches.
Suspension is not enough for referees because they would not return the points.
At
the end of the day, while I was coming to the podcast today, I saw something about Gegen Club saying that the only possible solution to this is a replay, and he knows that is not possible.
It's not possible.
So now what if Liverpool goes on and compete for the title? At the end of the day, that will cost them points.
A lot.
Are you just saying this?
That might actually cost Liverpool the title.
Are you just saying this because it affected your team?
No,
because this is not the first time they committed such error. It affected teams like Arsenal.
Yes, it affected Arsenal
in the past.
Let me just. I am not a Liverpool fan.
Even Wolverhampton.
I am not a Liverpool fan, but I can talk for him. Okay. You see, this thing happened to Liverpool. It just seems that maybe all these officiators, they hate Liverpool because. Last time you remember, is this Sancho? I say Sancho. This your winger. What's his name?
Anthony.
No. Liverpool's winger collected red card. That was not what it is. Is it winger? Was it Jota?
Unless it's McAllister.
In the last match, McAllister.
That was earlier this season.
It's not even what it at all.
Yeah, it was. The red card was reversed.
They still give Luis Diaz, Diogo Jota red card again. Was it Luis Diaz? Diogo Jota.
It was Diogo Jota.
They gave him red card again, and they cancelled Luis Diaz goal. Sorry.
And thank you for
Luis Diaz goal.
Talking about that Diogo Jota's red card. That is not even a red card.
Even from the first yellow card, it's not even what it is.
We watched the incidents. That is not even the first incident is not a yellow card, and the second one is not even a yellow card offense.
At all.
So all round, the man had a very terrible refereeing performance.
Are you Jota's zone or McAllister?
Jota's red card in the previous Spurs game, just this weekend. Okay. The red card, Jota shouldn't have gotten a red. No, Curtis Jones got a red card.
Curtis Jones got a red card. That Curtis Jones red card is even hard to argue about because he stepped on the player. But Diogo Jota's own is not worth it.
It's not worth it. That was why
the first offense is yellow card offense.
I know, but that's what we're saying.
That of Diogo Jota is a yellow card offense. But the second one doesn't even deserve a yellow card because it was clear that this Destiny Udogie was on his way down.
Just like his leg clashed and he fell down.
It's match fixing.
No, we can't say it's match fixing now. It's officiating problem from the referee.
But not because it's happening to Liverpool right now.
No. It has been happening to all.
It happens last season, same as this season.
To Premier League teams, right?
Because it happens to Liverpool now. I guess that is why you're all complaining.
It's not the first time that this would affect Liverpool. I could remember why Liverpool were challenging for the title with City back. I think that was February 2022. There was this Everton versus Man City game. Rodri had a clear handball. Everton were not given the penalty. After the game, PGMOL sent an apology to Everton.
Just imagine.
And at the end of the day, cost Liverpool the title.
Can I speak from the background?
Yeah.
Just give excuse. Guys, sorry, I'm not on the camera today. I'm not feeling too well. But Eloquent made a statement that Liverpool. What was that statement again? Liverpool. The refs are against Liverpool, brother. Since the invention of VAR in England, Liverpool has been the most favored team.
I will agree with you. I'm going to agree with you with that.
This same team cost my team the title of his last season.
Yes.
Brentford against Arsenal, Brentford Southampton, Arsenal Southampton, Arsenal Crystal Palace, Arsenal Everton.
Yes.
So you coming to tell me, Liverpool has been favored?
How?
Especially last season.
The statistics
yes.
are there. If I was able to
when we talk of penalties,
the statistics are there. They have been the most favored team.
For real?
Yes.
They have been the most favored team by VAR in the league so far.
Wow.
After them, followed by Man United.
I won't agree with you.
No.
Are you for real?
Is it Casemiro's penalty?
Are you for real?
Was it against Sheffield last season?
Of VAR.
So is the VAR invented to favor a specific club, a special team? Is there? Does that mean in the English Premier League they are special team? There are some teams in the Premier League that are worthless, and there are some teams in the Premier League that are the officiators team. Is that what you're saying?
This incompetency, the refs have to start paying for it.
The fine, God bless you. There should be repercussion to it.
By the time you find somebody about 30k pounds or something, I think they will start sitting up because they are just so lackadaisical about their job. But you coming to tell me that Liverpool, the refs are against Liverpool, brother, that's it.
But Liverpool lost the title because of referees incompetency.
I can place a debate. Arsenal lost a title last season.
Liverpool also lost a title as well because if you are
Arsenal lost a title last season. Have you forgotten that you bottled all your games?
No,
there was no officiating. There was no officiating problem.
I lost the league with how many points?
I think 3 points.
No, it's not 3 points.
6 or
6
4.
points. Okay, 4 points.
I think
3 or 4.
Now, listen.
Yeah.
4
if
points.
The Brentford decision was proper.
6.
That is plus 3 points to Arsenal.
Okay.
Then against Everton, if their decisions were proper, that's plus 3 points to Arsenal. Against Crystal Palace.
Have you forgotten that you played Liverpool last season? You played Liverpool last season, and you robbed Liverpool. You robbed Liverpool last season. The 3-2. Is it 3-2 or 2-1 game?
The game at the Emirates.
After the game, the officials were complaining.
The game at Emirates. Liverpool apologized. Liverpool were thrown the apology last season because I think it was Gabriel Jesus on Thiago on Gabriel Jesus, and Arsenal got the penalty during that game at Emirates.
And even the offside,
and there was an apology sent to Liverpool last season. That was upper season. Yes, that was upper season. No, it was last season.
It was last season when you guys played 2-1.
It was last season
at your home at Emirates Stadium when you guys played 2-1.
Last season at Old Trafford also I was robbed.
3-1.
Yes. Did that the goal they ruled out?
It's a foul. Yes, Odegaard on Eriksen.
Is it at Old Trafford?
Yes. Eriksen and Odegaard.
The incompetency, you know why I'm happy? It's going round. So you go reach everybody.
That means everybody got served.
So what do you guys think is the way forward for this PGMOL? Teams are complaining. It's costing people points. It's costing them the title.
I think they need to do better. They need to do better.
What do you think is the solution? What do you think is the solution that will favor everybody? That will be a win-win for the fans, club, and the officials. What will be the permanent solution to be? Because we can't keep going on like this. It's not possible. What do you think is the solution?
I feel the approach by the governing body. Okay. Maybe they need to do better and hold some meetings, especially the VARs, the referee. I think there's something lacking, which is a lack of proper communication.
Okay.
Especially the video and clips that was released yesterday regarding the Liverpool and Tottenham match.
Okay.
And because how would a ref said check completed and the referee just assume he's saying it's an offside.
So let's just say they need to do better with their with their communication.
Yes. And secondly, they need to take them to somewhere, orientate them on what to do. Make sure they are good at what they are doing, because VAR is to correct the referee when they are doing wrong. If they know they don't understand what the decision should be, they should at least go and check the VAR themselves, confirm this thing is whatever decision I'm giving before they give it out. Okay. And secondly, the repercussion where what I'm saying is the repercussion what I am talking about is I want those refs to be paying fine, and if you pay fine, you make that kind of mistake, you should be sacked. You should be sacked.
I think that's too harsh.
Yeah,
I know it's too harsh, but you're costing me the league. You're costing me the league. It doesn't make sense.
The interest of your own club.
So Manchester United's slow start to the season continues, and guess what, guys? This midweek, Galatasaray added to the issue. We have a lot of things going on at Manchester United. Now let's talk about it. Marcus Rashford, your homeboy, your star boy. Do you think Marcus Rashford should be benched? Because I'm feeling that Marcus Rashford needs to go on the bench. I'll tell you my reasons, but do you guys think he should be benched?
I don't think he should be benched, but I need to hear your reasons first. Then we can come to a common ground.
Okay, because for me, I think Erik ten Hag wants to play Marcus Rashford on the wing. That's very, very obvious. He has this Rasmus Højlund right now, a promising and proper striker. He wants to play Rashford on the wing. For crying out loud, Rashford is not an explosive winger. He's not a threat to any fullback. If I'm a defender, if I see someone like a Kvaratskhelia, a Rafael Leao in front of me, I'll be more scared and terrified than seeing Marcus Rashford in front of me. And there is a stat that I want you guys to listen to now. Okay. In the last 365 days, Marcus Rashford has progressive passes of just 28%. Is progressive passes. Successful take-ons stands at 72%. Compared to the likes of Rafael Leao, the likes of Bukayo Saka, all
Vinicius
those
Junior
Vinicius Junior.
Likes, yeah.
So these guys, his numbers are very, very low. Progressive passes. This guy doesn't even, because right now I think if Højlund should be having those world-class services, Højlund is someone that can promise you 25 goals a season. Is that kind of a striker?
Yeah, his profile looks like one. Now let me break down the issue I feel is wrong with Rashford for you.
Okay.
Since him coming to United from the youth setup and all of that, he has been a player built for transitional football. There is a reason Marcus Rashford, if you check his stats against the top 6 teams, they are very exciting. I don't know if you get. There's a reason for that, because when it comes to the big game, there've been that team that just sit back, absorb the pressure, and catch you on transition.
Yeah.
And that is where he excels. That is what suits him the most. He's more of a, would I say, a system player that flourish in a transitional system. You get me? Now, coming into this season, and now this season, we can go through the memory lane of Spurs last season and this season. It has showed you that EPL right now, you need to control games better to be at the top. Currently, look at the teams at the top of the table. You can see the likes of Mancity, Arsenal, Brighton, and the Vex. It's because you control games better. Now, Ten Hag has spotted that out, and they have introduced Sofia Amrabat. Now, since the introduction of Amrabat and the likes, in fact, since the start of this season, they've been trying to play more of that controlled kind of game. The only game where they had to play more of that transition was against Arsenal this season, and he scored.
Yeah.
And he scored. That's to tell you that this guy is a proper system player. This is what he's built for. So I feel right now it's left for the coach to sit him down or probably do more extra training, so his decision making would be better at the final third, because majority of his problem right now at the final third is his decision making. He's used to being that winger who just pick up the ball from this space. Let's say teams usually defend in 4-4-2.
They'll sit deep, right?
Yeah, to sit deep 4-4-2 in EPL. I don't know if you get. Yes. Unless Aston Villa will use the 6, they are 6-3-2 or whatsoever they use, and 6-2-2. Sorry, 6-2-2. That is what they use. Rashford has been used to being from here, sit from here, get the ball, run into these spaces, blast from this angle.
Or if you come against teams that play with the very high lines, you can still on the shoulder of the last defender.
You can still push them on and blast from this angle. Yeah. Now, if you look, I did not pay full attention to their match, but most of his issues during the last match was, the last Premier League match was, when he gets here, he finds it difficult to pass the ball to the striker.
Definitely.
He wants to blast.
Yeah.
He wants to blast that ball. So it's just built in him that this is a transitional kind of player. So I feel his decision making needs to be worked on by the coach. Probably with few extra training sessions, speak with him. Okay, you need to do better to be at the top. You don't just need to score goals.
Okay.
That was why.
Don't you feel he's a shooter? He's more of a shooter than a creator.
That's why I said
players like Mancity, Marcus Rashford, they are shooter. Compared to the likes of
their box strikings are great,
and Sancho.
Yeah, their box strikings are great.
That's
yes.
True.
Now, if you have a proper decision making as a winger with perfect ball striking, you would be one of the best winger in the world.
Yeah,
that's what made Cristiano Ronaldo who he is today.
Yes.
When Ronaldo hold the ball, pooh, that is it. So if Ten Hag would be able to coach Rashford decision making with Højlund here. And Højlund has this vibe of, it gives you this vibe, a bit of Kane, where he can come in to the number 10 role.
Or his other plays.
Yes, his other plays fine.
Very good.
He can come into the number 10 role and bring Rashford into play.
Yes.
I don't know if you get. So they just need to blend. Rashford needs to work on his decision making and everything. Everything with Marcus Rashford, I believe, would be fine. And for the situation of Man United, I feel once everybody gets back from injury, they'll figure themselves out.
So, what do you guys think about the midfield? You are a Man United fan. You better position to explain it. There is this midfield crisis. I don't know. Ten Hag is misprofiling these players, and I will keep saying it. Last night, I saw Bruno Fernandes play on the wing. Hannibal played as a number 10. There was this switch between Hannibal and Bruno
because there's no right winger.
There is no there are wingers in the team that can actually play as a natural winger. You've got a Pelestri on the bench, and you've even got a Marcus Rashford that can actually play the winger as well. That can play the winger as well. So why using a Bruno Fernandes as a winger? And Casemiro, the last time I checked, he used to be a proper destroyer. Right now, Eric Ten Hag is seeing Casemiro as this guy who wants Casemiro to bomb into the box and wants Amrabat to invert and play as a low number 6.
Now,
so I don't think it's making a lot of sense.
It is an injury crisis, or don't you feel
the injury crisis are
lack players at the left wing?
Now, if you sorry to cut it short. If you see what Ten Hag was trying to do before the injury, was this is they're starting a 4-4 and all of that. Now, with Amrabat coming in, the issue with Casemiro is this: Ten Hag want to seriously control the game. You feel me? And for you to do that, you have to push Casemiro out of this build-up phase and bring in Sofian in it. And considering the money Casemiro cost, being the fan favorite and all of that, you can't just drop him on the bench.
Definitely.
Because when you lose game, the media will call for your head. Remember, you are coaching Manchester United. The media will call for your head. Now, before the injury, we saw a case of during the build-up, we saw Luke Shaw here. We saw Aaron Wan-Bissaka here. Then we saw Varane, and we saw Lisandro Martinez stepping in to pair with Casemiro in the build-up. I don't know if you get. He had to step in to pair with Casemiro in the build-up, and the rest of them, and all of that. So I feel, with Amrabat coming in, we'll see that pivot of Casemiro, Amrabat.
Yeah, that was what I was expecting. I was expecting.
This due to the injury crisis of Luke Shaw and Requelion, there is no other option left than to play Amrabat as an inverted fullback.
And remove Mason from that picture.
Yes.
He's not included that part of that lineup.
I don't classify Mount as a starter if the full squad is
if the full squad, because I
don't classify him.
What I'm thinking is for the way forward for Man United, I think would be a double pivot of Casemiro, Amrabat,
and Casemiro being advanced than Amrabat because of his ball striking and his eye for goal.
I know he's good at ball striking and high for goal, but I still feel that Man United lack that guy who can actually progress the ball in the middle of the park for them. That ball progressor that can actually progress the ball from the first phase of build up to the second phase and into the final third. Man United are lacking that profile.
But
Sofian is there. Now I want a Casemiro who is more matured to stay behind. Okay. He can read everything in front of him. Definitely, if there is a transition or anything or a counter attack, Casemiro can actually break down things. He can actually intercept, break down positions.
Yes.
I think a Sofian Amrabat is young, is agile. When Sofian Amrabat is up there, if we lose the ball, definitely Amrabat, Bruno, all these guys, they can trigger the counter press. And we get the ball, we win the ball in the final third. That will really help Manchester United to gain that match stability. That's for me. My own school of thought.
For me, what I feel he's trying to do is playing Amrabat and the Casemiro pivot. Now using Casemiro more as a box to box. I don't know if you get because of his ball striking ability and his eye for goal and all of that.
It's not actually working because if you look at
currently,
Casemiro passes the ball.
Sorry to cut you short. So currently, I don't feel it can work because I said something during the last edition of the podcast. To implement the best sets of tactics, you have to have the best sets of players, and the players at his disposal right now, many of them does not suit what he wants.
What he wants.
Who are these players?
First of all, Missy Mount.
But it was the one that said
I want to say something here. I want to say something here. Eric Ten Hag's talent ID is spooky. His talent ID is questionable. He brought in Weghorst during the January where you can have actual. There are question marks still all over Missy Mount. Although I don't doubt Onana, but there are also question marks over Onana. There are question marks over Anthony. There are a couple of players that there are question marks all over them. I don't know.
That he brought on.
Yeah, there's a couple of players that he has brought on that are question marks. You can't compare Ajax to United. Ajax has been that European pool of talent in world football where you get it
easily from the academy. That academy also suits what he wants to play. I don't know if you get the suit, so it's easy for him. So I feel like his talent ID, it's a bit spooky for what he wants to play. Remember, he brought in Casemiro also. He brought in Casemiro who cannot fit exactly what he wants to play. So I feel his talent ID is spooky, but with time,
I think at Ajax, I think Ten Hag problem is at Ajax we saw this Ten Hag who is always playing this possession, fast transition style of football at Ajax. He has all the players to play.
He has everybody at his disposal.
If you look at a player like Bruno Fernandes, Bruno would not and would never even thrive in a possession-based team.
Unless
Bruno is someone who is ready to give you those final balls immediately. One touch, transitional football.
The only way.
You can't expect Bruno to combine 10, 15 passes for you in the first phase of build-up. Second phase of build-up, it combines 20, 25 passes for you. That is not Bruno. Bruno wants to give the pass to the final third as fast as possible.
That's what United has been built for.
And so, I think last season it worked very well for them.
It worked. The transitional play worked for them because those were the kind of players.
Why are you diverting it again?
Those are the kind of players they had.
So I don't
as a coach, I feel he wants to implement his system. And then again, if you listen to Zlatan's interview with Piers Morgan, he said something. Ten Hag needs a little bit of experience, and experience is not bought. You have to give him time. I'm not a Man United fan, but I can tell you, I trust him.
I believe him as well.
Things
would come good
for United is making, which are bad.
Yeah, me too. I feel so, but experience, like Ibrahimovic said, experience is not bought. You learn from your mistakes.
Okay.
This is his first big actual job at the big stage. So you learn from your mistakes. I feel once beaten, twice shy.
Yeah.
Once beaten, twice shy. So he's
5 times.
once beaten, twice shy. But
this same mistake is making it his last season, especially taking Bruno Fernandes out of the number 10 position.
Most
putting
times.
him on the wing. He did that against Barcelona last season. Especially our crucial games last season.
That's true.
Look at the first half of Barcelona last season at Old Trafford. At same thing at Camp Nou. So there's this guy, their left back, Balde. Look at the way he's overlapping.
Bruno had a terrible game against Balde.
He was the best player.
He was the best player in the first half.
Let me tell you something. With Bruno, if you are to play Bruno on the wings, this is where the limitation of Wan-Bissaka affects United. If Bruno was playing for a team like, let's say, I'm thinking of a team with a proper Barcelona, for example, where you have Cancelo. Coming from here, he would have to go into this pocket space and give Cancelo the width
to overlap.
Yes. I don't know if you get. Yes. He would give Cancelo the width to overlap, and Bruno would have to operate with this pocket space. But where you have the likes of Wan-Bissaka and Dalot, who is still not, he's a decent player, don't get me wrong, but he's still not at his best going forward. You have no other choice than to just leave Bruno most cases isolated and making wrong decisions. But if he was in a proper team with a proper overlapping fullback, once he moves into this pocket space, you have somebody like Cancelo, Kai Walker, or whosoever to keep the width for him and create such havoc. That's the same thing Barcelona does with João Felix. Once João Felix comes into this pocket space here, let's say this, once he comes into this space with Lewa,
but you know João Felix is good with the ball. He can protect the ball.
Bade holds the width for him at Barcelona, and this has been what has been favoring them over the years.
Can't protect the ball.
Did you know?
With Casemiro behind you,
Gavi has been playing as a first winger to cover the wing of Balde.
That's your rest defense. That is where your rest defense comes in. With Casemiro in the team, you have a proper destroyer behind you. So as a fullback, you have nothing to fear going forward. As a fullback, you have Lisandro Martinez also behind you, one of the best defenders in the league.
And one of the best ball playing defenders.
Exactly. I can actually place a debate, if not for the system at which man you play. I can actually place a debate that Lisandro Martinez is top 3 ball playing defender in Premier League.
Yes.
His ability on the ball is so underrated. And he's technically gifted. So I feel with time United will come good, but that time the fan base don't have such time. That's the pressure. They don't have that luxury to afford that time. So that's just it.
So we'll talk about the Manchester United palaver. Maybe some other time we'll talk about them, because Man United, we can't stop talking about Man United. There's a lot of things going on. But some part of London, the red part of London? Well, let me say there is this mixed emotion. During the weekend, we were all celebrating for Kai Havertz. Then in the midweek, Lens shocked. Prosper.
Another big fact.
What's wrong with your team? Lens, how come? Let's start with that Lens game in the midweek. What happened?
A lot of things went wrong. I'm not trying to make excuses for the player, but we had about a 5-hour flight delay and all of that. And it has just showed that without Saka, would have a big
problem. That's that squad depth. We
have a big issue at hand. If Martinelli was on the pitch, those are games where he flourished. But then again, Kai fraud Havertz. Jesus Christ, the German donkey.
Do you think Kai Havertz is a fraud?
He needs. I feel personally, Kai Havertz to come good.
Yeah, I believe
but
him.
We don't have that time.
100%.
I don't believe you.
He will come good.
Why do you say so?
I've seen Arteta transform players like Granit Xhaka to become top class players. If you watch Granit Xhaka 4-3 years ago, you would never want to watch football. I've seen him transform a Raz Gebre Magalhaes to one of the best defenders in the league currently. I've seen him transform Ben White, who there were question marks all over him, to one of the best right backs in the league. I've seen him transform Reece Nelson, Gabriel Martinelli, work on Bukayo Saka and the rest. So there is a place in me that believe Kai Havertz would not be an exception, but we don't have that time. He needs to go to the bench.
Do you know? You mentioned Ben White.
Yes.
Who again?
Gabriel Magalhaes.
Gabriel
and Nelson.
But do you know, during those process, you guys are not competing for the league.
We are not. That is why I said Kai Havertz.
That's a very good point.
That's why I said
competing against teams like.
That's why I said Kai Havertz
and you
needs to go to the bench.
The fans to give you time for Kai Havertz.
That is why I said
there's no time for that.
That's why I said Kai Havertz needs to go. That's why I said Kai Havertz needs to go to the bench. As it stands, you can integrate him to games, cup games. Through that process, he learns just the way he did with Fabio Vieira last season. When he brought in Fabio Vieira, I could saw the potential in him, but I knew this guy was not ready for this team yet.
Why are you seeing the potential in Kai Havertz?
I'm seeing.
You're seeing it?
Yes, his off-ball movements are one of the best in our team.
I think.
I don't think so.
I think the most heartbreaking thing is the Bukayo Saka injury. It's also heartbreaking, and I will have to fault Mikel Arteta for this.
Yeah, I fought him also
because the match was too. At the point, I think it was earlier this season. Bukayo Saka broke the record as the most consecutive
87 games in a row.
87 games in a row for Arsenal.
Yes,
that's too much.
The boy is young for that. It's just too much.
The issue is
the match overload is too much.
The match overload. The match overload is too much, and then again, according to Arteta, he always wants to be on the pitch. You have to fault the player for that also. He always wants to be on the pitch. But for the game of Lens, I was pissed.
No, Prosper, I'm not going to buy that from Arteta. It's just a flimsy excuse.
But why would you say? Was a long time ago. This was a statement from a long time ago.
Do you know that even players on the bench, they want to be on the pitch?
Yes.
But all of them, it is their profession. They go out in the morning, tell their wives and their kids that I'm going to work. It is their profession. They don't want to sit down on the bench.
Yeah.
Most of them are passionate about the game. Even sometimes when you see players being subbed off, you see the reaction that they will not be so happy. Like, why did you sub me off? I was about to get my hat-trick. I was about to start enjoying my game.
So Arteta
is to be blamed.
To Saka
is to be blamed
because I expected him to be on the bench. Honestly, what I expected him to start that day was Jesus here, either Trossard or Edin Ketia here, and you bring in your Nelson here. It's that simple. Or either way, you can still play Edin Ketia here, play your Jesus here, and you play your Trossard here. It's that simple. And put Kai Havertz on the fucking bench.
But who is the backup player for Bukayo Saka at Arsenal?
We don't. I think he's the only right winger we have in the team.
But
the rest of the attacker, sorry to cut short. The rest of the attackers can actually play as a right winger,
but not
as effective as he might be. But they can play on that position. So that was what they looked towards the summer. Okay, we have so many players that can play in that position and all of that. But personally, I feel we need a proper backup for Saka. And then again, the right winger market is scrappy. There are no proper right wingers in the market.
There are no proper ones, and I feel Arsenal will actually suffer without Bukayo Saka being in the team, because I look at the profile of most of their attackers right now. There are no attackers in that Arsenal team that can really penetrate a backline like Bukayo Saka would do. I don't really see most of them. But that Arsenal case, we will come back to it. Manchester City, Man City, without Rodri, they have been losing games. And I have a stat here. I think the stat says since Rodri's Premier League debut on the August 2019, Man City have lost 33% of their top flight matches they have played without the Spaniard, compared to just 7.5% with him in the side. So they have lost 33% of the games without Rodri, and just 7% loss with Rodri in the team. It shows how important Rodri is.
I've always said this thing.
It's so indispensable.
KDB, Bernardo, and the rest are not important as Rodri.
Rodri is the most important player.
He's the most
indispensable. Truly.
Even the likes of Haaland can get injured. We don't care.
I always tell people the core of possession-based football is your DM.
Is your number 6.
Once your number 6 is 40.
Then there's a problem.
Then there's a problem with your team.
Just like example, take a Sergio Busquets
out of prime Barcelona, and you are fucked.
You have a very terrible team.
Yes.
A very terrible. So I think with Pep Guardiola, probably maybe because he used to play the position himself while during his
he was.
He understands this very well, and he builds his team around his number 6. Rodri is so very instrumental, and I think going into that Arsenal game without Rodri, I think is a little bit of setback for
them. Yeah, it's a little bit of setback.
I know Pep will definitely come with different tactics to make shift with Rodri not being in the team, but it would not be as effective as Rodri.
It should be, because Partey is back. You now have Rice, Partey at your disposal, and all of that.
So Saka might not play the game.
He would play. We go inject them. We go inject them. No. We go inject them. Then international break rest.
He still has a lot of years ahead.
So I feel Rodri is the most important player at Man City, and I'm happy people are finally seeing.
Even last season,
that was why Pep started him in almost every game.
Season.
Even this season, he made a statement that he played too much game last season, and he spoke to the managers about him that he needs some rest in most games this season.
I think out of 38 games last season, Rodri started around 36 games for Man City,
and even cup games, and his replacement, Calvin Phillips, has been abysmal. He has been diabolic to watch. Like very terrible. He just needs. He looks like somebody you just need to start teaching him football from the scratch all over again.
Yeah.
That is how Calvin Phillips have been playing. Excuse me. That is how Calvin Phillips have been playing. So I feel probably we might see a Matthias Nunes playing as a 6, the number 6 row, Mateo Kovacic, or probably Calvin Phillips. Either of the 3 will play as the number 6 against Arsenal.
I think
John Stones is back also.
Yes, John Stones is back also. I think the best thing would be seeing a Kovacic.
God bless you.
Seeing a Kovacic there, probably then you can have a John Stones or Akanji invert into the midfield to give him that support. Because I don't think a Kovacic will play as a lone number 6 and be effective.
He can't. Even Rodri as a DM doesn't play as a lone 6.
Yes.
Not many DM in the world can play as a lone 6. That's what many people don't know.
Yes.
Even the Champions League final, the first half, Rodri played as a lone 6, and that was one of the worst games I've watched him play.
Yeah. See, I think right now some certain fans in the blue half of London are happy.
First of all, Pochettino owes me. No, Pochettino owes me. Pochettino, I broke down the tactics here and used it in his last match. When the game they won, yes.
You said it.
When I said he had to play Gallagher up higher and put Enzo back, Caicedo in his natural position and all of that. So Chelsea, if you are watching this, I knew you watched the last episode. That was why he stole my tactics. So if you are watching this, Pochettino, you owe me £120. £120,000. In fact, £120,000. Hey, note that.
I see one person talk say now when Chelsea don't win the game, Chelsea go win league.
That's impossible.
That is impossible.
No, I'm happy for them because
do you think they will
this is their 8th win of the year.
Yeah, of the year.
Yes, 8th EPL win of the year.
Yeah.
This is the 8th time Chelsea is winning a Premier League game in 2023.
That's very bad
for a big club.
It's very terrible.
That's very bad.
That's terrible,
especially with the fee that was forked out
Yeah,
for the past 3 transfer windows.
And I think most of those players that they brought them in when the team was going through a rough spell.
Yes, and they are
and I think mentally that will affect those players.
There were articles last season that the young players that came in were not too happy because of the pressure they met at the club and the whole situation. So that was why I said if Pochettino, last episode I said if Pochettino can lead his players to see the same vision as he sees and bring them in line with what he sees, things would go smoothly for him. So that's just, I'm happy they won the game and Pochettino stole my tactics. So Chelsea, in case it's sharp Poch, are they available?
I have a problem with their board decisions.
Yeah.
All the players they've been signing, is it with the approval of the manager?
No,
I don't think so. I don't think so.
The club signs player for the manager to work with.
Yeah.
That's been what I see from the outlook.
And you think that will work out?
And it's
according, I've read something somewhere. I'm forgetting the quote, but it sounded like Pochettino said something of from January he would have control over the transfer markets and we have decisions over, because even the Enzo signing was never the manager's approval. If you read it from the Athletics, they said immediately after the World Cup final game, Bodie stood up and tell them, get me that player. So that has been the kind of finesse that has been going around. Oh, this guy is now young talent. Oh, he's Ugochukwu, you get dread. Oh yeah, you get dread.
I feel that's why they've been signing players that isn't working out for them. And there are some players that is not necessary for them.
And I think he has been trying a lot of tactics this season, a lot of formation. I think they've played with about 3 formations this season already: 3-4-3, a 4-3-3, a 4-2-3-1.
That's a sign of a manager that is tactically flexible and willing to learn and seeing his problem and working on them immediately.
Well, I think in a big team, as soon as possible, you need to get your best 11 together. As soon as possible, your best 11 that you can trust week in, week out, that they are going to give you this performance.
He seems to have figured it out, but the issue he has had has been with the wingers. I don't know if you get picking Raheem Sterling, Kopama and all of that, but I feel once Nkunku and the likes come back to full fitness with James and his brother Chilwell, once everybody comes back to full fitness, he would kick everything.
But I don't think Pochettino is good enough for the job.
He's good enough. I've seen him develop a lot of young talent, the likes of Luke Shaw, Harry Kane, and a lot of them. So I feel he might not be the man to take them to the promised land. You get? He might not be the man to take them to the promised land.
I don't think Pochettino is the man for the.
He might not take them. Listen, he might not take them.
His tactics is not.
He might not take them to the promised land. This is the same thing. This is the same thing with Xavi at Barca. He's not the one to take them to the promised land, but he's the one to start the process.
No. Xavi is not promising to Pochettino now.
What has Xavi achieved in his career?
Xavi is just a new coach. All of us know he's a new coach.
He coached at Qatar.
And he collected.
Alhamdulillah league.
He collected cups at Qatar. Okay, if we want to judge with that, he collected 3 cups and 4 cups in Qatar.
I would collect a trophy at Qatar.
Oh, so why you wanted?
Xavi has been. Let me tell you. No,
Pochettino based on what he did.
No, let me tell you. Xavi has been tactically outclassed by every manager. Every top manager he has come across.
Yes.
Yes. Even preseason against Arteta, he was tactically outclassed.
Even Ten Hag.
Home
away. He was.
Even was facing injury crisis.
And this Inter coach Felipe Inzaghi.
Inzaghi schooled him.
Inzaghi schooled him. He schooled Xavi as well.
Nigel schooled him.
He schooled Xavi as well.
So what are you telling me? I've seen Pochettino. Let's not deviate from the conversation. I've seen Pochettino. You said Bayern. Sorry to cut you short. Bayern is not a short small thing. See, bro, you don't need. As a good coach, if you are good tactically.
Can you beat Bayern?
I can't beat.
Arsenal beat Bayern.
But I can't beat Bayern, but I should be able to see what my coach is doing tactically on the pitch. There are some games where Liverpool lost the match, but you would give thumbs up to the manager for his tactical brilliance.
Why will you say Arsenal can beat Bayern?
This current Bayern,
yes.
I'll smoke this current Bayern.
Yes.
When I made mention of the Bayern was last season, comparing where they were and where we were last season. I'm not sure we would have been able to. But this current Bayern, Tuchel is on front wall. So I've seen Pochettino works with Luke Shaw.
Okay.
You get? I've seen him work with Luke Shaw. He's Harry Kane, Heung-min Son, Dele Alli, so many youngsters, and it has worked out for them.
Yeah.
And I believe it would work out at Chelsea. He might not be the one to take them to the promised land, but he would do something special for them.
But Chelsea are looking for who is going to take them to the promised land.
So talking about that promised land, I think Lagosians, especially should be excited because I think we now have a local team in Lagos that we can say this is our home, Sporting Lagos. And I was excited. I was kind of curious, you know, while going to the game. I thought Nigerian Premier League we'll see all this kick and shoot, all those police football, not exciting football.
I got surprised.
I was
though.
kind of surprised. What do you think? What do you think about Sporting Lagos? We watched the game together.
In fact, well, I am not certain that they're gonna get the EPFL, but what I am certain about is they're going far. These guys are playing professional football. They are so professional, and their coach, he is so tactical. I watched their match against Gombe the last time. I saw what the coach did. I knew that this man, if he catches any other team, he's going to beat them. Because after all, remember we are in Nigerian Premier League.
Yeah.
Nobody is very tactical that can outclass him. Except maybe some other big teams can come due to their caliber of players. But right now, that man, that coach of Sporting Lagos, he is the man for the job. And trust me, Sporting Lagos might contend for the top 1 to top 4 of this MPFL for this season. Trust me.
I don't think it stands a chance.
They stand.
Yes, there are some
why do you say that? Why do you say it doesn't stand a chance?
There are some top guns in the league. Teams like Canopilas, Enugu Rangers, a lot of good teams. The man can't just come from the
that's
big guns in the league.
No, we've seen situations whereby teams come from the lower league and they come and they become an household.
Exactly.
It will take time. Not just immediately.
It might not take time. We've seen the likes of Brentford. I know of a Brentford in England.
So it's competing for the top 4?
No, it's not competing for the top 4.
Okay.
At least when if you are coming from a lower division, one of those objectives is not to go finish in the top 6 of the table.
Yes.
One of those achievements of a team coming from lower division is finishing in the top half of the table. If surviving, not even going into relegation position. Survivor is number one thing. And if you want to say a team coming from a relegation team has overachieved, that means they are finished in the top half of the table.
Yes.
Maybe they finished 1 to 10. And I believe this Sporting Lagos that I saw, they have a clear plan, a clear philosophy of how they want to play football. I think they will actually do well.
They will do well.
Definitely.
I think they will do well.
Going for the top 4.
They will go for the top 4.
It's a good time.
You know why?
Not this season.
There is this particular guy in their team, the number 6. I think his name is Henry. People should watch out for that guy.
He's a monstrous defensive midfielder.
He's the one for the future.
But do you think those big teams won't come for him later on?
That's what he wants. That's what he wants.
Mind you, bro. Do you know that Lagos State is one of the richest states in Lagos State?
But the team is not controlled by Lagos State government.
Forget it's all Sporting Lagos. They are using Onikon Stadium, and that Onikon Stadium is being donated to them. It's not that they are paying almost all the money. They're only renovating it as theirs. So it is the government of Lagos who handed over it to them. Who handed it to them now? So
it's still being controlled by private.
So that Henry right now is a masterpiece in their plan. I'm not sure Sporting Lagos will want to leave him for anything.
Even they come for him, that's fine. But there is this particular guy who is. I saw a tweet that is in the GOAT debate. You know what I am about to talk about? I think Jude Bellingham. Someone said, is he in the GOAT debate? Jude Bellingham has been a sensation at Real Madrid.
He has been out of the world. He has been scoring in every match.
I must say personally that I knew Jude was a very good player, but I wasn't expecting this. Can we say that is the tactical brilliance of Carlo Ancelotti, or can we say that's the brilliance of Jude Bellingham as a player himself?
The player himself, I think.
The player himself and tactical brilliance of Ancelotti. Because if you see Ancelotti from last season, you should see Ancelotti as this kind of person that you see the game, but you're not seeing him. It's until when the game continues, you know you're playing against Ancelotti. Ancelotti is this kind of guy that will hold you. He knows how to break press, and he knows how to play from that midfield too.
Because this is the first time I am seeing
transitional football.
Yeah, that's why he uses Modric and Casemiro then before Casemiro went. That's why he was using Modric and Casemiro. That's why they were even the cornerstone of the team. And now, reason why Bellingham is flourishing at that position right now is because Ancelotti plays midfield football. He actually wants the ball to be going from the midfield directly to the.
But Bellingham is playing as a first 9. I hope you know that.
Bellingham is dropping now.
Bellingham
is dropping. He's dropping like a pressing forward.
Yes.
You know
it drops to the midfield to press now.
It's like a dummy striker.
Let me scatter the board. Yeah. Ancelotti this current Madrid lives off individual brilliance.
Yeah.
Yes, for the past 2 seasons, I can tell you anywhere, he has been living off individual. Even the game,
it's obvious.
The UCL game where he kicked out Mancity, it was that moment of individual brilliance.
Yes.
By Rodrigo and the likes.
And so far this season, Bellingham individual brilliance has been what is keeping.
It is what it is. That is it. Even don't just say it's a good practice of the manager.
Ancelotti is also good.
Is misprofiling Vinicius Junior. I think we'll talk about that in the next episode.
Probably
watch out for that.
We'll talk about that. I think Bellingham has been a very good footballer.
No, that guy is very beautiful.
A very good one.
Football.
So a quick one here, guys. There are a lot of standard games over the weekend. I want you guys to give me your predictions.
Okay.
I want you guys to give me your predictions. We've got a game between Arsenal and City. Those two guys who went head to head last season.
A draw?
Yes.
Okay, to me, I am seeing 2-0. Man City to kill Arsenal.
A 2-0.
Man City to kill Arsenal.
What are you thinking?
I feel Arsenal is winning the game.
I'll get the draw.
Okay.
Arsenal is winning the game.
Yes.
Give us a score.
Man City to
2-1.
kill Arsenal.
Okay, for me, I see a 1-1 in the game.
Okay.
I see a 1-1 in the game. Liverpool Brighton. Liverpool versus Brighton.
It's already definite that Liverpool is winning this match because Brighton is having a very poor run recently.
No, it's not.
It's not the
They don't have
problem.
There's something.
You are coming to play. You are coming to play
They were
Liverpool.
only
You are coming
exposed.
to play Liverpool.
I think they were
at
exposed
Anfield.
against Aston
Yes.
Villa.
But they are coming to Anfield.
They are not having a poor run at all.
Oh, you are going there?
We're going
Are you going there?
We're going there. Yeah, we're going to the Amex Park.
When it comes to Brighton, yeah, when they are this Robbie Wood, when they see smaller teams like them, they become spooky.
Yeah.
But when they see
Bigger teams
from top 6, they become these Galacticos, these prime
Stop.
man.
Do you know Liverpool have so
And Liverpool
so they have
Remember,
oh,
Liverpool have
that's
these
true.
red cards.
But
but the two red cards are not they are not core members of the team that were affected. It's not going to
for the red
affect.
card.
They appealed for the Curtis Jones red card, but it was overturned. It was turned down. He will serve a 3-game suspension.
Oh, because Jones is not an essential player to Liverpool now.
He has becoming
Klopp is trying a new thing. Jurgen Klopp is trying a new thing. That is why he's using him more often.
I think Curtis Jones in that Liverpool team is so very crucial to what Jurgen Klopp wants his number 8 to play.
He's the most underrated player in that squad.
Because you look at the entire Liverpool team, that is the only player that can keep the ball very well. To get the ball
as at last season, Curtin Jones was off it now.
No, towards the end of last season when he came into the team, the team got better. The final 8 games of the season, I think Liverpool did well. Gravenberch.
Yes.
Gravenberch is fine. Gravenberch
is good with the ball.
It's fine as well. But they are.
Soboslai is the guy that can attack.
Gravenberch is someone that is rough on the edges, you know.
No, I know. I'm even talking about Soboslai too.
Sure, Soboslai.
People that can hold football and progress football. Liverpool have those players. Liverpool are genge pressing monsters. They have players who are fit for this game. And let me tell you something. Brighton are just this fragile. They're just this fragile.
Football is not about genge pressing monsters.
Bro,
yes.
Brighton are press. They are
one of the best teams.
They are just a fragile team who knows how to play good football.
Okay.
Just watch. You see.
Man United versus Brentford.
5 minutes.
Brentford. All of us know Man U has a poor run, so
I see the game
draw.
I see the game.
I'm thinking of draw.
Ending at 1-0
in
favor of Manchester United.
Man United is winning the game also.
I am thinking of draw here.
I see a 2-0 comfortable victory by Man United.
I'm seeing a draw.
So guys, I have a game for you, a very quick game.
Okay.
I give you the question. The fastest guy to give me the answer wins the round.
Okay.
And that will attract 3 points.
Okay.
For each question. So are we ready for it?
Okay.
So I have a few questions for you here.
Okay.
So the first question I have here with me is which country has won the most FIFA World Cup titles?
Brazil.
I think he said it first. He said it first. So we have 3 points to Eloquent there. Name 2 Istanbul Turkey teams known for their intense rivalry. That's 3 points. That's 3 points for you. So we have Prosper on 0 points right now. Which footballer is named the Egyptian king?
Salah.
I started this.
No. I said it first. I'm the one who said it. I said Salah.
Will you cancel the
We need
question?
VAR.
We go cancel the question. Bless, now everybody know that question.
Okay.
Name the youngest player to ever score a FIFA World Cup final goal.
Youngest player.
Julian Alvarez. Is it Kylian Mbappe?
Kylian
Kylian Mbappe.
6
I remember.
points. 6 points.
I remember.
6 points. Hello. Who was the top scorer of the 2018 FIFA World Cup?
Mbappe.
Mbappe, no.
Harry Kane.
No.
3 points. 3 points.
Come back.
3 points. So we have another question here, and it's a little bit tricky. Which Italian club is known as the Old Ladies?
Juventus.
I started
6
6
points.
Come back.
6
Come
points.
back.
So Eloquent is on 6 points, Prosper is on 6 points, and Abezi is on, I think, 3 points. 3 points. Okay.
Or
now,
maybe two, Sha.
okay. So the last question is very, very crazy. Which legendary Brazilian player is named the Black Pearl? Black Pearl.
Black Pearl.
Yes.
Ronaldinho.
No, Ronaldo. Neymar Ronaldo.
Let me give you a tip. He's a legend.
Pele.
That's
Pele. I heard black. I wanted to say Pele. But I was thinking.
Black. What just went to my mind first was Ronaldinho.
I was even saying Neymar Ronaldo.
Come back.
9 points.
Now the last question. The famous hand of God, Maradona hand of God, happened in what year?
I'm not good with
Is it 1990?
No, 1984.
No, 1997. Because I was watching it on.
This guy was not come back. Think of the answer.
Before World Cup came back. It's 1997 now.
No.
1999.
Hand of God.
1999.
No.
1999 call.
I was watching this World Cup story before that World Cup started. They said they showed this thing. They showed this fact. Is it?
So I think nobody got that right. It was 1986. That's
and you said 1987.
We have our winner. Yeah.
And I'm second.
9 points.
6 points.
9 points. 6 points.
3
points. So
with the half points.
No.
But if you have a point, I also have a point now.
So, guys, this has been a very wonderful edition of the podcast. I must say I really enjoyed myself. You know, we can't keep talking about everything. We can't just finish all topics. You know, I myself, I don't want this to finish, but we don't have an option. If you want to follow us, you can actually follow us on YouTube at DFK, on Twitter DFK01, and you can also listen to the podcast on Spotify. You might be going to a workplace, you might be in the bus. Just put on your headset, play it on Spotify at Discuss Football with Kenny is the name of the channel on Spotify as well. So if you think that you are vibrant enough, you are this football brain guy, why don't you come on the podcast and speak your mind? Let the world hear you. Just tell us if you would like to come on the podcast. Let us know in the comment section if you would like to come on the podcast. And if you are in Lagos, we will arrange for you on how to get to the podcast. I'll see you guys next Friday. This is me signing out with my team, my friends, and we'll see you guys next Friday. Peace out.